Oh, hi, we're at, in Dublin in the first SB3 World Championships. My name's Ash Holmes. I'm here with Tony Castro, and we're doing an interview on part of livegator.com. Looks like you brought the weather with you.
Yeah.
It's quite nice.
Yeah, very nice.
Very nice.
And yesterday they were already out there practicing, and fabulous day. It'll be nice if it stays like this for the rest of the week.
Absolutely. Good bit of wind out there yesterday as well.
I understand towards the back end of the week there's going to be a bit more wind. It could be a bit light to start with.
Oh, excellent. Oh, that's good news. so just a bit on your background. So how did you actually start getting into designing boats?
Yes. Long answer. Well, I've always sailed since I was, a kid, so I was always obsessed with sailing.
Sure.
And then, of course, when you grew up, my parents thought it was a good idea to learn naval architecture as opposed to some other profession.
Sure.
So I went to Scotland to study and basically learn, let's say, the basics.
Sure.
And then I started doing quite a lot of sailing and racing in the UK and all over the world. And before you know, you got quite a taste for, oh, maybe I can do this.
Yeah.
So, I decided, maybe this would be a nice thing to do. And because at the time I was actually already doing a lot of racing in the States and Australia and all the rest of it, I met quite a lot of the designers of that time in the early 70s.
Right.
And one of them, Ron Holland, which was just about to start his career, asked me if I'd like to come and work for him. So in fact, we came to Ireland all those years ago, not Dublin, but a few miles down south in Cork.
Yep.
And I spent some fantastic years here in Ireland, and that was really the beginning. We started, designing sort of serious boats.
Yeah.
And then it just went from there. And in about 1980, I decided to start my own company, and with a bit, luckily I never sort of looked back.
Excellent, brilliant. So Laser came to you and asked for a design. So what was the kind of concept behind the boat, the SB3?
Well, the background of the Laser is loosely based on a previous boat which I did called the 1720, which was itself an Irish invention, let's say. Yep. And the idea of the kind of the sports boat grew at that time. And obviously Laser saw the kind of success that boat was having and thought they could do, even better.
Yep.
With, fine-tune the whole idea, use their capabilities and their expertise as a manufacturer, and thought this was a good way forward. So contacted me about the idea of making a smaller boat with all these kind of ideas put together, and that's how the SB3 kind of grew. Excellent.
So has the boat turned out how you wanted it?
Yeah, absolutely. One of the nice things about this project was that Laser was already a pretty smart company before this, and they knew how to develop a project. Right. So I was not under, let's say, the usual sort of mad pressure of trying to create something from paper and have it done yesterday.
Sure.
So the guys were very good, and we were even able to make a prototype, which is kind of a rare thing to be able to do in my business. And so we knew what we wanted to do from a conceptual point of view. Then they were good enough to invest in a real boat that we sailed every day for 3 months.
Oh, really?
Every day. And not me personally, but we had actually a crew dedicated to sail the boat for 3 months every day.
Oh, excellent.
And every other evening we'd get together and talk about it, and do we need to do this? And the idea was to really learn about how it behaved, learn about its limitations. In other words, were we happy with its behavior? Did it do what we wanted it to do in the right circumstances, you know, what was the, you know, how high a wind speed we wanted the boat to be able to cope with, you know, the performance profile of the boat. So of course, you know, when you get this opportunity, I don't think is a surprise that the result is good, because obviously if you do your homework and you do the things properly, the end result, there's a good chance it is good.
Absolutely.
So we had a great team, and that's it. You know, people is everything, you know, at the end of the day. So a good team can produce a good product and a good boat. So I think it turned out precisely the way we expected, because we knew it was going to be that way, because it wasn't a rushed, mad job. It was a very precise development process.
So how long do you think it was from the time you got the brief from Laser to the actual time when it actually
almost 1 year.
About a year.
Yeah.
So,
which is long for a little boat.
Sure.
But it ensured that it was right, because, you know, it's if you want to make a lot of them, you don't want to change halfway, because you realize there was some little mistake or big mistake or whatever. So you wanted to make sure when the production started that we didn't have to go back.
Right. Excellent. So what are the actual main key points that Laser wanted to get out of this? Obviously it wants to be a sports boat.
Yeah. From the very outset, the idea of the sports boat was to be able to have some fun. At least as far as I'm concerned, was the idea to have some fun without necessarily having to be a professional sailor or an Olympic athlete.
Sure.
So we wanted to create a very specific boat that sailed in a very specific way, to create an experience as we saw it would appeal to the largest possible number of people, young, old, male, female, with experience, without experience. We wanted people to be able to work all week in the office and then go out sailing the weekend and have a reasonable chance to win, and not be with a handicap because some guy's been training Monday to Friday. So we wanted to take away the kind of a bit of the physical element of the boat. So the idea of the sports boat of not putting the legs over the side, you know, no hiking, which was originally one of the original ideas.
Sure.
It tried to take away some of that physical element, so that you wouldn't have to be a super fit individual to be able to win. So that was important to us to do that. And obviously we wanted a boat affordable as possible. So again, we didn't, you know, we could have had a carbon fiber rig, which we analyzed, but you know, the difference was so minimal and the price differential so great that we felt that, you know, it wasn't, you know, this boat isn't about speed. It's about the experience that you have sailing it.
Absolutely.
It's a greater thing than just go from A to B the fastest. Right? I mean, I could easily have done a faster boat from A to B. Anybody could. That's not the point. But to make a boat which is that good, that much nice, that enjoyable by that many people, that's what we try to do.
Excellent. So we're here in the World Championships, and there's 150 boats entered, and also there's an extra 30 boats on the waiting list as well, waiting to join in. Did this kind of exceed your expectations of the actual class?
Well, of course we dreamed of this, you know, being able to create this kind of buzz, and we sort of worked towards it. But obviously to see it happen is always, well, thank God for that.
That's right,
Great, you know, it has happened. So it'll be, and of course the dynamics of sailing a big fleet are so different from sailing in your own club with 10 or 20 boats that it's fantastic fun for people who participate to enjoy. I mean, you know, I'm sure some guys never done it. They're doing this for the first time. And as I said, the nice thing is that the majority of them have a very good chance of doing very well because of the nature of the boat, and I think it'll be great fun for great fun event.
Excellent. And